A nice little rainy day visit to the comic book shop. Let's do some dollar bin diving. Channel I've been doing for maybe 2 years now, but I mean I've been collecting stuff forever. So I just have to say, these dollar bins are insane. As you see in the footage, I'm pulling out keys and just really incredible books that are worth much more than $1. I just had to say something because I am so excited. I can't wait to get home and show you the haul that I am picking up right now. There are so many incredible books. Let's keep diving through these dollar bins. All right, now let's check out some of their back issues, which are all priced extremely well, and there's some incredible stuff in here. And lastly, let's take a quick look at some of the incredible vintage toys that Comic Relief has in stock. There are some incredible pieces here, some sealed vintage figures and other accessories and toys and play sets. So much cool stuff. I wish I could just take everything home with me. So I just got home and I got a really nice stack of books right here. But you know what? Let's get these in some bags and boards. All right, so everything is now re-bagged and boarded, and I went through all the books. I almost forgot what I picked up. There was a couple surprises in there that I totally forgot about because there were so many incredible books. This was an insane dollar bin sale at my local comic book shop, which is Comic Relief in Toms River, New Jersey. Best shop ever, hands down. So I ended up getting 45 comics total, and I actually paid less than $1 because they offer a deal where the more comics you buy, the better the deal. So I got 45 books, and I only paid $35. So that is 77 cents per comic. And I got some incredible stuff. Some pretty decent keys in here as well. Let's go through everything because I'm so excited to show you the haul. First off, I found this just sitting in the dollar bins. It's like this Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer movie film cell, which is super cool on this little card. So I just grabbed it because it was super cool. And, you know, Anthony, the owner of the shop, he just gave it to me just because it was sitting in there. Really, really cool. Just thought that was interesting. Now let's get to all the books. So excited. I can't wait to show you everything. Starting off with a whole bunch of Maximum Carnage run. Almost the entire series of the Maximum Carnage run. Starting here with Spider-Man Unlimited issue number 1. All of these are fairly high grade, which is really great as well. So we have issue number 1 here, where Maximum Carnage begins. Really, really cool. Nice thick book there. We also have part 2 from Web of Spider-Man 101. And I just love these covers. Really, really cool. Moving on to part 3 from ASM 378. Awesome cover with Venom versus Carnage. Super cool there. Then moving on to part 4, which is Spider-Man 35. You got all the villains there on the cover with Spidey and Black Cat. Super, super cool book. Decent grade as well. They did not have part 5, but here is part 6 of Web of Spider-Man 102. Just more Maximum Carnage. Almost the entire run here. Moving on to part 7 from ASM 379. This one's got a little bit of like tanning going on the white cover, but honestly, for 77 cents, who cares? Part 8 here from Spider-Man 36. And moving on, they did not have part 9, but here's part 10 from Web of Spider-Man 103. I love this cover too. Such a cool just contrast of colors and just really, really cool. And moving on to part 10 of 14, ASM 380. This one's got a little tanning on it as well. And part 11, Spider-Man 37. And they did not have part 13, but here is the conclusion, part 14 from Spider-Man Unlimited issue number 2. This one, as you see, is a direct edition. It's actually super high grade. They also had a newsstand edition, which is pretty awesome. And this one does have a little dog ear on the corner there. It's got like a couple tiny spine ticks, but it is a newsstand. I figured I'd just grab it for the price. Why not? So only missing 3 issues from this Maximum Carnage series. Really, really excited about that. I grab the Maximum Carnage books whenever I find them in dollar bins. All right, so there's some really cool stuff here. Let me get through these. This is kind of funny. This I grabbed because I thought this was Wolverine Origins number 10. I don't know. In my mind, I saw that cover with Wolverine's bone claws, you know, with the 2 claws. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is a great book. And then I just didn't even think that it says Origin 2. This is not a key or anything. It does have a cool acetate cover, but for some reason in the back of my mind, I was moving really fast, and I thought this was Wolverine Origins number 10, that classic Wolverine key comic with that similar cover. And then I saw all of these, which I thought was super cool. This is the Reign of Superman from Superman 78, signed by, it's a Dynamic Forces. It has a COA, and it's signed by Dan Jurgens. Really, really cool. So these are all Dynamic Forces. They come with a certificate of authenticity, and they are limited. Let's see, it's 3730 out of 10,000. So not extremely limited, but it's signed by Dan Jurgens. And for 77 cents, I'll take a signed book all day long. This one here is signed by Tom Grummett. Also limited out of 10,000. This is Adventures of Superman 501. Just all these classic, like, die-cut 90s covers. But a signed book with a COA from Dynamic Forces for 77 cents. Also have, this one is signed by Jackson Juice, Superman in Action Comics number 687. Just another one of those classic 90s die-cut covers, signed though, and the books are in high grade. And also, lastly, this one is signed with the COA, Superman Man of Steel 22. Really, really cool. Like I said, with the Dynamic Forces COA, signed by the artist. Really, really cool. So that was awesome. But then I found this book here. This is the Superman Gallery, issue number 1. This is a really cool book. It's just full of Superman artwork from all different artists. Honestly, I've never owned this particular book, but I noticed it had a whole bunch of signatures on there. You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signatures. And these are some incredible signatures. Certificate of authenticity, hereby certified that the Superman Gallery comic which accompanies this document has been personally autographed by George Perez, Neil Adams, Jerry Ordway, Dan Jurgens, Kurt Swan, and Jim Steranko, and limited to an edition of 5,000. Holy smokes. Neil Adams, you got Neil Adams, you got Dan Jurgens, you got Jim Steranko, you got Jerry Ordway, you got George Perez, and you have Kurt Swan. 6 signatures on this book for 77 cents, and you're getting a Neil Adams, a George Perez, and a Jim Steranko signature? I think a Jim Steranko signature is like a $50 ordeal nowadays at local cons. And to get a Neil Adams signature, that is super cool. I could not believe this was just sitting there. That was amazing. I'm definitely holding on to this one. That is just super cool. All right, moving on. It actually gets better than this. Here's just a couple random ones. We got G.I. Joe number 80 in a newsstand. I collect G.I. Joe. I figured I'd just grab it. Also, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's a 4-part series. They had issue number 1, and they also had issue number 2. You know, I love Indiana Jones. I had to grab these. This one's got like a bunch of spine ticks, but honestly, who cares for 77 cents? Also, Something is Killing the Children, issue number 25 with this super cool, like, die-cut Jenny Frison cover. I don't know. I saw it in there. There was a handful of modern books, and I saw this one. I figured for the deal, for the price, why not? It's a super cool book. I remember when it came out, and I wasn't able to grab it, so happy to get that one. Also, Marvel 2-in-1 issue number 2. Super early in the run. Of course, these Marvel 2-in-1 aren't like super valuable books or anything, but it's issue number 2. It's a nice little Bronze Age book. It's actually in pretty decent shape. It's got a couple little things going on the edges of the cover, but honestly, super cool. Excited to grab this book, and it's got a great thing and subby cover. So awesome to find that for 77 cents. How about Marvel Comics Presents 79? The first depiction of Wolverine in the Weapon X, costume or outfit or whatever you want to call it, the gear that he's wearing. Super cool. Love this book. Great Barry Windsor Smith cover. And, I mean, for less than $1, they had a whole bunch of these. They had like 4 or 5 copies. I grabbed 1. I actually grabbed 2. So 2 copies of that. You can't beat that for the price. Also, Marvel Comics Presents number 2. Just an awesome Wolverine cover. It's got some spine ticks, but, had to grab that one. Just a great looking cover. Actually, much better than the number 1, I think, in this run. I also found Ghost Rider 15 in a newsstand. It's got a couple spine ticks, but this is the first glow-in-the-dark cover. I love this cover. I have it graded. I have it raw in multiple copies. But I saw it was a newsstand, and I figured I'd just throw it in the pile. Why not? And also, some of my other favorite books to collect here are the first series of Moon Knight. This is a classic Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and it's awesome. It's got a couple little ticks on there, but this is issue number 20. Love this the Sienkiewicz cover on there. And then they also had issue number 33. Pretty weird cover, but still, I'll grab Moon Knights in dollar bins all day long. Here's a fun one here. This is Roger Rabbit, issue number 1, from Disney Comics. It's in high grade, and it has a little spine roll, but that could be pressed out. Decent looking copy. Love me some nostalgic cartoon stuff. Roger Rabbit is awesome. Had to grab this one. And then they had this little run here, which I figured, I'd just grab it because I've never seen all of the books together. So this is Amazing Spider-Man Skating on Thin Ice. This is the issue number 1, and they're all different little stories. So this is Skating on Thin Ice, and here's issue number 2, which is called Double Trouble. Like I said, I've never seen all the books in this little series together. Here's issue number 3, which is called Hit and Run. You got Ghost Rider featured in this one here. And then issue number 4, which is called Chaos in Calgary. Spidey's riding the bull. That is super cool cover. I'm not sure if there's more issues in this little mini-series. Let me know down in the comments if you know, because this is issues 1 through 4, and I've never seen them all together, so I picked them up. Also, as you probably saw in the footage, they had a New Mutants #1 newsstand in the dollar bin. It does have some creases on the cover here, but for 77 cents, come on, you gotta grab stuff like that. This was an incredible find. Deadpool Circle Chase issue #1 in a newsstand. That is a huge thing. You know, a book, a 2.50 price with a newsstand. I feel like you never see this book ever in a newsstand. Unfortunately, it has a huge spine tick crease here, bunch of ticks here, and a little tape pull on the newsstand barcode. If this was in higher grade, this could be upwards of a $50 book. Unfortunately, this one's pretty low, but I grabbed it anyway because it's a newsie. I've never found this one in a newsstand before. Super excited about that, and it's a great book. It's a great read. Happy to have that in the collection. All right, also found this amazing book here, Marvel Team Up, issue 117, featuring Spider-Man and Wolverine. This one is in pretty nice condition, pretty high grade, and I love this cover. Very simple, but it's just very classic to me. So I had to grab this one. Very excited about that. I mean, what a cool book there. All right, now let's get to some cool keys. How about Iron Man 283? This is the 3rd appearance of the War Machine armor. Of course, 282 is that classic cover that everybody loves. This is the next issue in the Iron Man run, and it's a cool book. I didn't have this in my collection yet, and for the price, of course, had to pick it up. Honestly, it's got a great cover too. I mean, really, really cool, and it's in very high grade. I also picked up Star Trek The Motion Picture, issue #1, little Bronze Age Star Trek, movie adaptation. You got Kirk and Spock on the cover, and the USS Enterprise. Pretty high grade, and I had to grab it. It's got a little bit of monetary value as well. I find this book all the time in dollar bins lately, but I have to grab them because it's not a dollar book. This is like a $8 to $12 book all day long. ASM 375, classic foil cover with Venom and Spider-Man, and this has no spine ticks. This is super high grade. Normally I'll find a couple spine ticks in this cardboard cover. It's got like the hard cardstock cover, but there are no ticks in this beautiful copy for 77 cents. All right, how about Venom Lethal Protector, issue #5 in a newsstand? Another book that you don't really find in newsstands very often. Later on in the 90s, you just don't see these in newsstands very, very often. And it's a great book. Has a whole bunch of first appearances in it. Really, really excited about this one. High grade. Very, near mint copy right there. That was a good find. Speaking of good finds, this is probably one of my favorite finds in the dollar bin. When do you find this book in a dollar bin? Pretty much never. Venom Lethal Protector, issue #1, no spine ticks, high grade, a near mint copy. Incredible. I could not believe this was in there. I was flipping through the books. You probably saw in the footage, and bam, it was right there. I could not believe it. It was just so cool. I'm really excited about this one. Probably one of my favorite finds of the day. But there's still a couple books coming up that I'm excited about. How about ROM issue 31? This is the 2nd appearance of Rogue. She's right there on the cover with her little skunk stripe in her hair. I mean, how cool. Awesome cover. And when I find this in dollar bins, I have to pick it up. This one has some spine ticks, also has a subscription crease down the center. Honestly, I could probably press most of that stuff out, except for the ticks. They're color breaking. But for 77 cents, very cool book to find. ROM 31 featuring Rogue. This was a very cool find here. This is Supervillain Classics Galactus: The Origin, issue number 1. Beautiful copy here. Near mint copy. Newsstand. I mean, such a cool cover. I love this book. Finding this in the dollar bins was awesome. So very, very excited about this book here. Has some good value. This is a great looking copy. I did put all these books in Mylars because I figured they were worth it. So how cool is that? Really excited to find that one. And last but not least, this might be my favorite find over Venom Lethal Protector. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures from Archie Adventure Series, issue number 1. The first edition collector's issue, but it's actually not the first edition. This is a third printing. As you see by the little barcode here, Archie salutes Victor Gorlick, the editor, and this is a third printing. And this is basically the most collectible printing of this book. The first and second printings still have some good value, but the third printing is the most desirable one. It does have some spine ticks. It's not a near mint copy, but I got this for 77 cents. So that was an incredible find. I was flipping through, I saw the cover, and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I could not believe this was in there. So, long story short, I got to the comic book shop right when they opened at 10 a.m. I was the first person to dive through these bins, and then people started coming in and trickling in over the next 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But I was the first one to go through these boxes, and as you saw, I found some incredible stuff. Anthony, the owner of Comic Relief, always has amazing books, amazing prices, and with his dollar bins, especially stuff that he just puts out for the first time, which was these bins that I was diving through, he always sprinkles in a couple fun surprises. I mean, look how many amazing keys that I found and awesome books, all for less than $1. Amazing, amazing. I can't believe I found all these. This was just an incredible dollar bin sale at my local comic book shop, Comic Relief in Toms River, New Jersey. All right, everybody, so that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed checking out this incredible dollar comic sale over at my local comic book shop, Comic Relief in Toms River, New Jersey. They always have incredible inventory, and everything is always priced extremely well. I ended up getting an incredible haul today. I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and I got a killer deal. So that's the video. Don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you can see when I upload my next video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.